It's the Brews and Bros podcast.
Welcome, coffee enthusiasts, to Brews and Bros, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of coffee culture and brotherhood. I'm Mitch.
And I'm Zach, and together we're the hosts on this caffeinated adventure.
In this episode, we'll be diving deep into some of the issues that the cafe and hospitality industry are currently facing.
Of course, we will get distracted and fall off topic, but that's just how we roll. Before we do that, what's been going on with you, Mitch? You got some new stuff happening?
I do. So the new job, I've now been there for a month in the roastery.
It's been a month already.
It's been a month. Over. Like, I haven't had a cafe for a month.
Wow.
I feel really good about it.
That's pretty crazy to think about.
A lot of people keep asking me, do you miss it? No, not even a little bit. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons shortly. But anyway, I've been doing some knives, making some new knives and bits and pieces.
Drinking lots of coffee?
So much coffee. I've had some killer coffees, but we'll talk about that soon.
Sweet.
What about you, mate? You've also had a change of career.
Yeah, I moved away from selling trays and canopies and jumped into something a little bit more four-wheel drive orientated. I'm still doing the same sort of thing, selling, but, you know, I get to build people's dream cars.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Not just put toolboxes on and not that there's anything wrong with it. You get to do a little bit more.
Yeah, that's it.
A bit more four-wheel drive.
Built a like $300,000 Land Cruiser the other day.
Mad.
It's pretty cool.
Sick.
But
Right.
yeah, before we jump into this episode, I'd like to talk about this high-vis elephant in the room. They're part of our new merch line that we designed. We wanted something that's going to stand out and be in your face.
We do have other colours as well.
That's it. There's more. There's not just high-vis, you know.
We've got a burgundy and some other colours of T-shirts as well. So make sure you check that out.
So if you want to support us, click on the link below or head over to the website, chuck I'm Your Bro in the checkout for 15% off on Brews and Bros hoodies and shirts.
Yep.
For the rest of the month. And
Rest of the month till the end of May, that's going to happen. We might try to run some more things later, but for now, that's it for that. So now we are going to dive into the episode properly. Now, as someone who has recently closed a cafe, I can tell you firsthand what the hell is going on, not only in cafes, but almost all small businesses currently trying to battle these issues.
yes, there's definitely no secret. The world is changing. The whole world as we know it, you know, has changed, and there's a whole new world of challenges right in front of us.
Yeah, for sure. So first up, I do want to talk about a couple of reasons as to why I closed my cafe, which is probably going to help you understand. So obviously I've closed my cafe, and there are many reasons for this. Number one, it's just not financially viable to have a cafe at the moment in the way I was doing it and for the reasons I wanted to have a cafe. As Zach, you and I both know, coffee was the reason I had a cafe. And at the moment, the cost of coffee is just not sustainable. You've probably noticed there's been a lot of posts and videos and stuff online about people complaining about the price of coffee going up.
Especially in the last couple of days.
Dude, it's crazy. There's actually a post
fast.
here that was I actually shared from ABC News, and they were actually asking, is $5 a cup of coffee too much or too little? I shared it and got a lot of people's responses, and most people were saying, well, for a good coffee, it's too little. But then there was a lot of people jumping in and saying, well, you can get a coffee for $2 at 7-Eleven, and it does the same thing. So it is a hard one. But even 7-Eleven doubled the price of their coffee, even though it was only from $1 to $2. Obviously, there was a problem. They weren't making enough money. That's not sustainable. Now, being around the roastery and actually having something to do with coffee in the background, a lot of roasters, the green bean price has doubled in price over the last couple of years consistently, and that price of coffee hasn't gone up at all.
So I think we'll see places like 7-Eleven, McDonald's, and all of that start to follow suit with coffee prices. 7-Eleven's already done it once, but their problem will be is printed on the bottom of their cups. So they can't just be like, oh yeah, we're changing the price up $1, because they're obviously going to have to get through that stock.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless they're going to come up with like a sticker or something.
Well, if
like
you
that.
think about the amount of difference they're going to make in price, it's worth throwing the cups away, I guess.
Yeah.
So I feel like places like 7-Eleven and Macca's and these places that are bigger conglomerates, your Starbucks and stuff, it's a race to the bottom for these guys.
Yeah, that's it.
And specialty cafes and hospitality and all of these other places, like I'm not interested in racing to the bottom. I want to sell a quality product.
No way. Man, there's cafes out there. I went to a cafe the other day and I paid, it was like, I just went in my usual order. I get a batch brew. The cafes that I go to will have it. I pick obviously where I'm going to go. I paid $7 for a batch brew. I didn't bat an eye. The gasp out of the lady behind me was like, because the young girl handed me the cup and I walked away, and she realized I just paid $8 for a cup of coffee, but I knew what I was buying.
Yeah,
I went there for a
you
reason.
get what you pay for, guys. Like it's we all know that if you want a Ferrari, it costs more than a Commodore. Like, they're both cars, right? But one's better than the other. It costs more to make. It is better to drive, etc. Like we know this. Yet for some reason, when it comes to food and beverages, everyone has this handbrake effect because it has to be that price, which is just not sustainable if you want a quality product. Because at the end of the day, places are just going to start closing. Like myself, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people closing that, and if you pay attention, it's always the ones that are actually doing things properly and not trying to cut corners. They're the ones that close early because they're not willing to cut corners. They're just done. I'm out. And then you're going to be left with rubbish only.
But that's it.
You're left with
It is
the
happening.
scraps.
Like
Yeah.
I travel an extra 10 minutes to work a day just so I can go past a cafe that I want to support.
Yeah.
Because, and you know, he's doing well. Like he's killing it at the moment, and I'm so happy for him. But the amount of regular customers that I've noticed from your old shop that are like, even like customers that I know used to come to your shop, I'm like, hey, I know that person. And it's good to see that following on because it's part of that, you know,
Well, we're part of the same community.
ever growing community of specialty coffee. And you did it really well, is educating the good customers on, well, not so much the good customers, educating customers in general on, yes, they like that specialty element. Where else can I get it?
Yeah.
That's the biggest question
and I
used to
feel
get
like
asked.
a lot of this attitude is actually thanks to people like Spro Bros.
100%.
That you know, the things that Reagan and those guys are doing is just amazing because that helps us find, you know, where do you get good coffee? Talk to the Spro Bros. Have a look at the map. There's a map. How cool is it?
You know what? I was away in Adelaide last weekend and I jumped on this map because I was like, hang on. I was going in blind. I was like, oh, where am I going to get a good coffee? So I took coffee with
where do I
me.
get a cafe?
I said to Mitch, I'm like, hey, where do I get a good coffee? He's like, you got the map, bro.
Here's the map.
I'm like, oh,
well,
shit.
I'll actually pop the map in the link below for you guys because it's amazing. I think it's a lot of, is it New South Wales?
No,
it
it's
was all of
all
Australia.
over
That's
Australia.
right.
There was one in the NT
That's right.
and WA. There's quite a few little cafes in WA that are popping up.
Yeah.
But
So that'll help. That's going to help anyone if they're looking for a specialty cafe. And you can just save it in Google.
Yep.
It's really cool.
That's where mine is. Mine's
Yeah,
saved to my map.
So that's pretty cool.
Automatically populates.
And that's thanks to the Spro Bros. Well, I think it's thanks to James.
James.
Oh, we love James.
Without James, we wouldn't have that map, nor the list of
Oh my gosh.
how many cafes
insane.
that if you got, you know, you want somewhere to go, jump on Spro Bros, shoot them a message. Hey, where can I grab a good coffee?
I'm in this area, or just check out the map. It's mad. Anyway, like you said, we're going to get distracted, and we did.
Yep.
So, back to kind of the issue around coffee pricing. In Australia, this is definitely an issue, especially in capital cities, because there's so much competition. Everyone's either fighting to get to the bottom or trying to be better or whatever it is they're trying to do, and it's not working. I'm going to pop up these numbers on the screen for anyone that's watching this. But the average cost for a small flat white in Australia is $4.78. So that seems normal because you're like, oh, $5 for a coffee.
Even then, that to me, that feels like for a small flat white, like knowing the industry quite well, that sounds like that's on the cheaper end.
Yeah, it is. It is, right? Now, if you travel to Dubai, you're paying $9.59 on average.
Is that Australian or local?
This is Australian price, so it's converted.
Wow.
So $9.59, and then if you go all the way over to Switzerland, $10 for a small flat white. Now, I don't know a lot of the logistics around these things. I honestly think places like London and San Francisco is probably closer to where it needs to be. $7 in London and $8 in San Francisco, for example. Singapore's $8.40. You know, I'll put all these numbers up on the screen for everyone
Singapore's
to see.
a very good one for that, actually. We have a very similar, like, cultural, like, coffee culture. They do, like, the specialty. They do, like,
Definitely.
you just got your
you
normal
been
everyday. No, never been to
Apparently,
Singapore.
it's super clean.
Yeah.
It's illegal to chew gum in Singapore. That's cool.
You'll get fined.
But anyway, I will pop that up on the screen just to give you guys a bit of a gauge as to, like, clearly that's not sustainable. Like, there's places in the world that are double the price. That's just insane. Yeah. So, look, I don't know if they're taking the piss a little bit, but that's what it is. And I think we need to fill that gap. And there's a lot of work to do to achieve that. And that does come down to the consumer. Because if people keep supporting shit coffee,
And cheap coffee.
they should be the same thing. Because if you're paying top dollar for a shit coffee, stop going to that place. So we need to start drinking better coffee, be willing to pay for it, or you're going to end up with trash coffee forever. It's as simple as that.
Imagine drinking international roast for the rest of your life.
No, thank you.
I wouldn't even drink
Ever.
that dust to save my life.
I never want to drink it.
You've never tried it.
I mean, I have out of desperation, but it was not an enjoyable moment. I think I was working night shift back in the day when I was working in freezers, and that's
I
all
would
there was there.
not wish it upon.
It was trash, man. Like, there's a market for instant coffee. I'm not against that. James Hoffman actually just did a video on making his own instant coffee. Have you seen it? Yeah, so it's a specialty instant coffee. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the thumbnail and
That's
just
cool.
feel like it's, no offense, but what's the point?
Yeah, but
If you're gonna put in all the
there's
effort.
a time and place for instant coffee. Like, there is times where I'm like, I need a coffee, but I'm busy or I can't grab it. I work in a very busy, fast-paced office.
Can I pop something in here while we're talking about instant coffee? If people aren't aware, typically specialty coffee is Arabica.
Yeah.
Arabica coffee. Instant coffee is typically Robusta. More flavor, it's cheaper, etc.
Quite a bit cheaper too.
A lot. Well, it used to be. There's a lot of suppliers out there right now that have pretty average Robusta that is more than a quality Arabica bean.
Wow.
So I don't know why that is. I'm going to try to find out. But I feel like there's an issue that's coming that's going to hopefully assist with more good coffee. Because currently I can do a better coffee with Arabica than I can with Robusta. I've actually got it on the shelf over there. A coffee that is cheaper than Robusta. That's insane. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. But
That's
it's
really
cheaper than
cool, though.
Robusta.
That's really cool.
Well, it's not good for the people that are trying to just do a average cup of coffee because they're almost being forced out of the market or forced into specialty coffee, which is two things that they don't want to do.
Well, Victoria is a big part of that. They are a very big Robusta blend.
Well, most of these, a lot of blends are. You know, if straight away, if somebody wants a cheaper coffee, you add some Robusta, right? You add 10% as a filler, get a little bit of the cost, you get a little bit of strength, if we want to call it that. That's a conversation.
Generally, it's
day.
Brazil as well, and they're having a lot of coffee problems at the moment.
Well, yeah, they had some drought issues, and anyway, so that drives the cost up. The cost of beans worldwide is going up, including Robusta, which is crazy. So there's a lot of work to do behind the scenes from the farms or the distributors or whatever it needs to be. I don't dive too far into that just yet where I am in the roastery, but I see the battles we have. My job is to sell coffee at a wholesale level, I guess, and everyone wants it as cheap as possible, but they want it as good as possible. That's a tricky one.
Everyone's trying to save a penny.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not against anyone trying to make more money. That's fine, but it's at the point where it's becoming unsustainable.
I think everyone's a bit like that in all industries, though. Like, in a very, very different industry to you, but like, we have a part at work which we use every single day. We had a supplier come out and say, "Look, I can save you $20 each," but they can only supply this one thing, where the other supplier supplies everything that we do. But that $20, and we're using 5, 6 of these a day.
It adds up.
It adds
It's
up.
someone's
So,
wages.
100%. Like by saving that $20 on that part, by switching one supplier, it was like, okay, that's something we've got to do because it sort of future proofs us. Like you think that $20 a day, that could be weeks in long term if we go into a recession.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So a lot of forward thinking, and there's a lot of fear out there at the moment. But this goes to cost of living crisis that we're going through at the moment. I hate using that word, but it's real. This isn't just coffee.
You've got to sometimes though. People don't realize there's so many blindsided people out there that are like, oh, it's not cost of living.
Yeah, look, people have their own little conspiracy theories, right? Let's not get into that. Put my tinfoil hat on, we'll get stuck into it.
No rabbit hole today.
But yeah, look, that travels all the way on, and price gouging and whatever it is. That's not really for us to talk about. But I guess a lot of the issue is that we're seeing is the cafe needs to put the price up, but they can't because the consumer already can't afford what's there. So it makes it really, really tricky because when you put your prices up, then you're out of the
you're just like, oh, can't go there.
yeah,
every day
unaffordable.
now.
Yeah. And I watched it happen. I experimented with a lot of pricing in the cafe, trying to put the pricing up to make it more, profitable. I wouldn't say more profitable. I was just trying to make some profit. And the backlash off 50 cents is just insane. Yet when fuel prices go up through the roof, you get served by an absolute dick that doesn't even speak to you, and you just pay. You line up for 10 minutes to pay for a product you don't actually want that is overpriced, and you just do it.
Well, the problem is people, like, it comes down to the whole choice thing, but we don't realize it with coffee or food, but we don't care about it with fuel because fuel's a necessity, but so is coffee. It's just,
For me, it is.
that's it. But people's priorities, like,
Well, look, most people do see coffee as a luxury. It's because there are cheaper alternatives. There is the 7-Elevens and the instant coffees. Yeah. So a specialty cafe or even just a normal cafe in general it's a luxury. Yeah. And most people are cutting back on luxuries, which is understandable. We've got a baby on the way, so we definitely understand that. There's a lot of things we need to change, and because we know.
I think people need that's it. I think people just need to look at those luxuries a different way rather than being like, oh, I can't go out to dinner this week. It's more like, hang on, I've eaten Macca's 3 times a week this week. Why, eat Macca's 3 times and not go out to dinner? Cut out Macca's altogether.
Well, I think that's probably it's not. I think it's not necessarily the product; it's the convenience of Macca's.
100%.
So that's
what I was going to.
The luxury is how convenient it is, not necessarily the product.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I've cut out Macca's, KFC, Hungry Jack's, all of that pretty much altogether. I would rather take the extra 15 minutes and go to a cafe and get lunch rather than 30 seconds down the road there's Macca's that I can have in 10 minutes. I'm spending my entire lunch break out grabbing lunch because the cost is the same. It's the convenience.
Well, that's right. And we know we get a better product when we sit at a proper cafe or a restaurant. For example, tomorrow I'm catching up with a mate because we're going on a man date for breakfast.
That's pretty cute.
It is. Well, it's all based around, getting blokes talking. And we're going to a cafe because we could go for a ride we couldn't because it's going to be pissing down rain. But we could have just gone to a normal place. We could have gone wherever. We could have
gone to the pub.
That's right. But we're actually going to go to a cafe. We're going to go to a mate's cafe because we're going to look after our mates before anyone else, if I'm being honest.
Yep, 100%.
Matt's a good dude. Barista Shed.
Matt is an awesome dude.
Such a good bloke. So if you haven't heard of the Baristas Shed, I'm going to put a link in the thing. Give him a follow. Say good day to Matt. Tell him Mitch sent you. And
he actually hosted an awesome event there the other week.
And you weren't there.
I wasn't there. I've seen the photos.
You missed out.
FOMO.
It was really good.
Time.
Yeah, that was a good Spro Bros event. But he's going to do a lot more stuff coming up soon.
That's cool.
It's going to be cool. But yeah.
Always down for a chat. Like, you go in there and he's there. Spend way.
Yeah, but I have to sneak in and pay before he sees me. Because he tries to give me I don't want a discount. I'm here to support you, brother.
I got good at that. He would walk out the back to the kitchen. I'd go in and order coffee and food and then walk outside to the window and he'd be like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I just
yells at his
coffee
stuff
and
charging customers for stuff.
What are you charging him for? He comes here all the time, and he's like...
So this is where if you've got a friend with a cafe or a business in general, don't expect a discount. Support your friends for the right reasons. Don't go there to get a discount. That's
Adrian's the
horrible.
worst for it. I go in there every day.
Oh my God. He gave me too many free coffees last time I was there.
Well, he's like, oh, I'll give you my staff discount. I'm like, bro, no, I'm good. And he's like, oh, but you come all the time and you help out when I need help. But I'm like, it's all right. It's just
It's not, we're here to support.
here to, I'm here to pay your bills. You're making me
Yeah.
food and, giving me coffees and stuff like that.
Yep.
Let me support you.
No.
I went there this morning and sat down and had breakfast. I'm like, you know what?
Mad.
That's it.
What'd you have?
Just bacon and eggs, bro.
So basic.
Oh, chorizo and halloumi. I had to have, all the goodies.
Speaking of goodies, I've been drinking this Nicaragua Grade 1 Supernatural. This is insane. It's a filter roast, but I pulled a 2-bar extraction on the La Pavoni this morning. Insane.
I've had some pretty good Nicaraguas and some pretty
You
terrible
just can't say it
ones.
properly.
Nicaragua. Yeah, I know. But for some reason, when I hear that, I think of tobacco.
Oh, like Nicorette.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know why.
Nicotine.
Literally.
That's why. Oh, God. Anyway, you had any good coffees lately?
What did I have? I had the Colombia El Divisio at
Oh, the AA.
AA at Adrian's.
AA. That is a good... That was it. There's none left. It's all gone.
Well,
He might have some.
yeah, the reason why he's got none left is because I convinced him to put it on as batch for the day.
You're an idiot. What a waste of a kilo coffee.
And I had 3.
You're a jerk.
So I had 5% of that AAA.
Sky. What a dick.
It was good.
It,
I went
like,
there this
that was a
morning.
really
He's got
good
some for Spro, so I had it as a low tide.
This guy. Crazy.
Sorry.
Why would you do that?
Hey, you sold all the coffee that you got some for me for.
I will have some more coffee soon because I'm going to Melbourne next week. Are you coming?
It's during the week.
It's Sunday. And I'm going Sunday, Monday. Flying Sunday morning, coming back Monday night. Take one day off with your brand new job.
My brand new job that I've been there
I'm
for
such
3
a bad
weeks.
influence. Maybe
Yeah,
don't.
sorry, guys. I got to have a day off. I'm going to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you going to Melbourne for? Oh,
Doesn't matter. Shh, it's for the coffee. Just do it. Anyway, I'm a bad influence.
I got to. I'm taking my girlfriend on a date to Melbourne.
Do it. For the coffee. For the bros. For the bros. I need someone that can hold a camera. Should come. Anyway, we're going to talk about that later. But anyway, I'm going to MICE 2024. I'm only going for 2 days.
They're the 2 important days.
Yeah, because the third day is for public. I'm not interested in that part of it. I've done it before and it's just chaos.
Chaos.
I don't really see too much. I'm there to do a lot of networking, check out some new product. Obviously, working for the roaster now, there's a little bit of a different prerogative. There are a lot of farms and stuff.
There's a whole different angle for you now. It's not going there to network and talk about cafes and coffee and machines. You're now going there to network.
I'm even looking at packaging suppliers.
Well,
I have
need
to, right?
Like,
That's what's new, what's better. How can we improve?
you're also, when you think about it, you're selling cups now too. You are a packaging
Everything.
supplier.
I sell everything. We do a lot of weird stuff there. If you are interested in a coffee supply of some sort, I'm going to plug myself. Make sure you send me a message.
You got to.
Cafe, not a cafe, roaster. If you want to be a small-time roaster, but you don't want to invest in $100,000 worth of equipment, we got you.
I gave you one today. Like I went to a little bustling lunch shop.
right.
I'm like, hang on, they've got.
We can fix that.
I reckon it needs to be fixed because
I'm going to beep that out so no one knows who you're talking about.
What do you mean?
One of our
talking
friends
about it.
works for that company.
Who?
I'm not saying.
Who works for?
Shh.
I need to know this.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Okay.
Someone works for.
Shh, stop saying it. It's too much work. Yeah, I need to that
Aw.
button. Oh, this guy. Anyway. Yeah. What else?
What else been happening?
Um,
Let's talk about the world of coffee that you're now in.
how so?
Well, what's been going on?
I mean, I'm just trying to sell coffee to
But
cafes.
what do you guys have coming? What's new in?
Honestly, majority of the job is just battling things, but I don't know if I can say anything yet.
Tell us about your meeting. You've been having.
That's
You've
the
had
one I
some
can't say anything about yet. Maybe. I don't know. I've got someone coming on a podcast very soon. but we don't know exactly what we're going to do yet.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you. Like, you've had some good and you've had some terrible meetings lately. So Mitch, obviously being a rep, gets to experience all different characters.
Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about that one.
And Mitch called me the other day and was like, "Hey, bro, I just came out of a meeting. It was shit." And I was like, "Oh, you okay?" And he's like, "Oh, nah, I wasn't, like, I'm okay. Wasn't that type of shit."
It was just, oh my God.
I was just got off the plane from Adelaide.
All I'm going to say is if someone comes to you with an organised meeting, make sure we're there talking about that subject. That's all I'm going to leave that one at, because, oh my God, it was just, anyway, I don't want to dive too far into that. Because, look, he was a nice guy. Anyway, moving forward.
We've got some cool things coming up.
Yeah.
Cool locations.
Yeah. There's one sick location. I really hope there's one little hurdle we're looking at, and hopefully it's all good.
Yeah.
It should be.
But yeah, we've got some cool stuff coming. So make sure you tune in. The podcast is now going to be available on Spotify and all your major streaming platforms. So this episode and the previous ones are also going to be available on Spotify, Apple Music, and everything like that. So, you know,
Nice. That's your job. I don't know how to do
we're
that
moving
stuff.
up in the world, guys.
Yeah,
Come on.
we are.
So, you know, you don't have to just listen on Podbean anymore. You know, you've got YouTube. So
That's right. YouTube, all of the other streaming,
services.
that's the word I was looking for. But yeah, I think we are going to work on the platform a little bit more to make it friendlier for both, because I'm so used to YouTube that I forget people are just listening sometimes.
That's it.
So we're new to this. I'm okay with the camera, but when it's just visual, I forget. So when I'm like, hey, have a look at this, and the people listening are like, you're an idiot, what are you talking about? I need to work on that. So
Oh, well, you just need to jump over to YouTube and, you know, have a
if you do
little
want
look.
to see things, make sure you check out YouTube and subscribe and like and share and all those things. Because if you're interested in coffee, if you're interested in blokes talking shit,
What do you want us to talk about?
Exactly. So we do want to hear from you guys in the comments. If you've got some ideas of things you'd like to hear, we need to know what you want to hear. Because if you're nice enough to be listening for this long, 30 odd minutes, we'll do what you want us to do. That's the idea of this. If there's something you want to find out, we'll do the research if we don't know the answer and let you know.
Yeah. If you want to feature on the podcast, send us a
30-second clip of talking to a camera.
Not even, just send us an audio recording.
Yeah, whatever. Of something. You can swear. Go for it. No nudes.
It's an audio, so you can't say anything.
See? I'm just not used to that part. Everything's video. But yeah. That's about going to do us, guys.
I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
It was good. Good little catch up.
Yeah.
I think the next episode's going to be a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
Got some cool things planned. And
I do apologise for the delay in episodes. We were both extremely sick about a week apart.
Literally, we were meant to record, a week ago, and then it was like Zach was dying.
Yeah. And the week before that, I was dying. So yeah, that all happened. So that's why there's been a delay. But there is some really, really cool things coming. Some amazing people are getting on board. And I want you guys to tune in. But that's it, guys.
That's it.
Thanks
so
guys.
Much. Have a good one.
It's the Brews and Bros podcast.